Today we are going to discuss drug therapy of cough, and for that we should know what is mean by cough. So cough is the protective reflex mechanism which removes foreign material, irritants and excess secretions from respiratory tract. What is cough? Cough is physiologically useful protective reflex mechanism. What is cough? Cough is physiologically useful protective reflex mechanism. It's a protective reflex mechanism which removes foreign materials, irritants and excessive secretions from the respiratory tract. So basically it's a protective reflex mechanism. It's an involuntary reflex and major defensive mechanism. Means it's an involuntary reflex, means it is not in our hand, it is not in our voluntary control. That's why it's involuntary reflex and it's a major defensive mechanism. And it is said that the cough should not be suppressed indiscriminately because it's a physiologically useful protective reflex mechanism. So it should not be suppressed. Mechanisms of cough. Mechanisms of cough is very complex process. Means CNS and peripheral nervous systems are involved. Not only central nervous system but also peripheral nervous systems are also involved. There is a changes in the bronchial smooth muscles and bronchial mucosa is responsible for cough. There is a changes in the bronchial smooth muscles and there is a bronchial mucosa which is also involved in the cough reflex. And most importantly, the cough center is the medulla oblongata. The center for the cough is the medulla, and cough receptors or stretch receptors which are present in the pharynx, larynx and lungs. So basically what is important? Mechanism of cough is very much complex. CNS and PNS both systems are involved. There is a main center in the central nervous system is the medulla oblongata, and peripheral cough receptors which are pulmonary stretch receptors, we can say. These pulmonary stretch receptors which are present in the lungs, larynx, pharynx. So these are the important things. Now here you can see the cough reflex, how the cough occurs. Means there should be some stimulus for the cough stimulus. And this cough stimulus in the form of pulmonary stretch receptors which are present in the larynx, pharynx, trachea, bronchi. These are the pulmonary stretch receptors, means any stimulus which irritates this larynx, trachea, bronchi, pharynx, and there is a stimulation of these pulmonary stretch receptors which send impulses to the central cough center via afferent limb of vagal nerves, which sends impulses to the cough center which is present in the medulla via afferent limb of the vagal nerve. And when it reaches to the cough center which is present in the medulla, there is a efferent limb of motor nerves which send impulses to the laryngeal respiratory muscles, and then there is a occurrence of cough. So there is an involvement of peripheral nervous system, there is involvement of central nervous system. So any cough stimulus which irritates larynx, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, that send impulses to the cough center which is present in the medulla, and from the medulla there is a motor nerves which stimulates the laryngeal or respiratory muscles, and there is the occurrence of cough. So this is basically cough reflex. Types of cough. There is a productive cough or non-productive cough. Or productive cough is also called as wet cough, and this wet cough is beneficial because it clears respiratory passage. Productive cough or the cough with expectorant expectoration, we can say. Productive cough or wet cough. Wet cough means cough with expectoration. Cough with expectoration. And this cough with expectoration is beneficial because it clears your respiratory passage, because it clears your respiratory tract. Whatever the excess secretions, mucus, irritants, foreign bodies, foreign materials, everything is removed with the help of this productive cough. So it's a beneficial cough. And non-productive or dry cough is harmful, and it should be suppressed by using cough center suppressants, because it's harmful. It will disturb your sleep and it is not useful at all. It is not useful at all. Now, what are the various common causes of cough? Common causes of cough means any respiratory tract infection. It may be upper respiratory tract infection or lower respiratory tract infection, any type of infection. Then allergic rhinitis, or those who are having smoking addictions. Smoking can cause cough. Chronic bronchitis, pulmonary tuberculosis, asthma, bronchial asthma patients having cough, along with expiratory wheeze. Gastroesophageal reflux can associated with cough. Pneumonia, congestive heart failure, bronchiectasis. So these are the common causes of the cough. Means they can cause dry cough as well as productive cough. That depends on the severity that presents on the progression of the disease. So initially it may be dry, later on it may convert into productive cough. So these are the common causes of the cough. Now the most important thing, that is the drug which causes cough. The drug which causes cough as a side effect, or drug which causes cough as a adverse effects. Most importantly, ACE inhibitors, which we use in case of hypertension, congestive cardiac failure. ACE inhibitors like captopril, lisinopril, perindopril, these are the drugs which can causes cough as a side effect, because what happens? There is a degradation of bradykinin. There is a degradation of bradykinin which is caused by angiotensin convertase enzyme. And here ACE inhibitors, what they do? ACE inhibitors, they inhibit the degradation of bradykinin. So there is more and more production of bradykinin in the lungs. So there is a chance of dry brassy cough, which is associated with ACE inhibitor, because of there is increased production of bradykinin. And it also causes angioedema. This bradykinin is responsible not only for the dry brassy cough, but it also causes angioedema. So ACE inhibitors which causes cough as a side effect, amiodarons, beta blockers, iodides, ethyl wafers can cause cough because it irritates your respiratory mucosa. Desflurane, it also causes cough because it causes irritation of the respiratory mucosa or bronchial mucosa. So these are the drugs which causes cough as a side effect. Now, how will you classify the drugs which are used in the treatment of cough? So basically you have to use the antitussives, means cough center suppressants or cough suppressants, expectorants, increase the volume of mucus secretions so that you can clear your respiratory passage, mucolytic, reduce viscosity of the mucus, and mucokinetic, increase mobility of the mucus, increase mobility of the cough, or increase mobility of the that viscous sputum. So basically we have to use antitussives, expectorants, mucolytics, and mucokinetics. Antitussives, either they are centrally acting and peripherally acting. Centrally acting, we use opioids and non-opioids. Opioids like codeine, folcodeine, levopropoxyphene, and non-opioids like noscapine, dextromethorphan, benzonatate. So basically, antidepressives, they act centrally, cuff center suppressants, codeine, folcodeine, levopropoxyphene, noscapine, dextromethorphan, benzonatate. So these are the centrally acting antidepressives. Peripherally acting antidepressives in the form of pharyngeal demulcents like syrup, lozenges, linctuses, steam inhalation. So these are the centrally acting and peripherally acting antidepressives. Mucokinetics or expectorants in the form of guaifenesin, sodium citrate, potassium citrate, ammonium chloride. So these are the salts which we can use as expectorants or mucokinetics. Mucolytics in the form of bromhexine, ambroxol, acetylcysteine, carbocysteine, methylcysteine. So these are the mucolytics, and others like antihistaminics like diphenhydramine, chlorpheniramine, promethazine. These are the H1 antihistaminics. These are the H1 blockers. Antihistaminics like diphenhydramine, chlorpheniramine, CPM most commonly used, promethazine, or you can use bronchodilators like salbutamol, terbutaline, or local anesthetics like lignocaine. So these are the drugs that you can use in the treatment of cough. Antidepressives, the drugs which suppress the cough, that is called as antidepressives. They inhibit cough reflex by suppressing the cough center in the medulla. What they do? Antidepressives, they inhibit cough reflex by suppressing cough center in the medulla. They used in the symptomatic treatment of dry unproductive cough. They used in the symptomatic treatment of dry unproductive cough. Because unproductive cough or dry cough, it should be suppressed. It is not useful, it is harmful. So better you should suppress it by using antidepressives. It is contraindicated in children less than 1 year of age because it can cause respiratory depression. It is contraindicated in the bronchial asthma patient, or it is contraindicated in the children which are less than 1 year of age because it can cause respiratory depression. So codeine is it is the most commonly used ingredient in most of the cough syrups which are used for dry cough. So this codeine is a semi-synthetic opioid analgesic. It acts on mu receptors or opioid receptors. Where it acts on mu receptors or opioid receptors, and it suppresses the cough at subanalgesic dose. Means codeine is a semi-synthetic opioid analgesic. What is codeine? Codeine is a semi-synthetic opioid analgesic. It acts on mu receptors or it acts on opioid receptors, and it suppresses the cough at a subanalgesic dose like 15 milligram in the tablet form or 15 milligram per 5 ml of syrup. So it acts as a cough center suppressant at a subanalgesic dose. It acts as a cough center suppressant at a subanalgesic dose. It is less potent than morphine. It is more selective for cough center. Morphine it also it suppresses the cough center, but it is less potent than morphine as an analgesic, but it is more selective for cough center, and antitussive action is blocked by naloxone. It has less addiction liability. It uses, where we can use this codeine. We can use this codeine as an antitussive, analgesic, antidiarrheal. Means codeine can be used as a cough center suppressant. It also used as an analgesic, and it is also used as a antidiarrheal agent because it reduces the peristaltic activity. Adverse drug reaction, it can cause constipation because it reduces the peristaltic activity, and that's why it can use as an antidiarrheal agent. Though it is a Semi-synthetic opioid analgesic. It can cause drowsiness and respiratory depression, and it is contraindicated in the bronchial asthma patients and children which are less than 1 year of age because it causes respiratory depression. Now Folcodine, antitussive efficacy is similar to codeine. Antitussive efficacy is similar to codeine. No analgesic effect, so no abuse liability or addictive effect. It's a longer acting than codeine. Dose is 10 to 15 milligram 3 to 4 times in a day. So Folcodine is better than codeine and it is used in most of the cough syrups. Now Noscapine. Noscapine is a natural antitussive. It is also an opium alkaloid. But what are the advantages? No addictive, non-analgesic, constipating properties, means no addiction, no abuse liability, no constipating properties. These are the advantages. It's a mild bronchodilator and respiratory stimulant. It's a mild bronchodilator and respiratory stimulant. Do not interfere with the mucociliary movement. That is the important thing. Unlike codeine, do not interfere with the mucociliary movement or mucociliary action of the respiratory mucosa. Potent antitussive effect. It is useful in spasmodic cough. Noscapine is useful in spasmodic cough. Doses is 15 to 30 milligram 4 times in a day. Adverse reactions like nausea, headache, tremors and bronchoconstriction. So it's a Noscapine, which is a natural antitussive. Dextromethorphan. It's a D-isomer of levorphenol. It's a D-isomer dextro of levorphenol. Does not act on opioid receptor. It raises the threshold for cough center in the medulla. How it acts? It's a NMDA receptor antagonist. It raises the threshold for cough center in medulla. Antitussive action is not blocked by naloxone. NMDA receptor antagonist. It's an NMDA receptor antagonist. Least addiction, least constipation, minimal drowsiness. These are the advantages of dextromethorphan. No analgesic action, no effect on mucociliary action, unlike codeine. It is used along with antihistaminics and bronchodilators as a cough suppressant. 10 milligram 3 times in a day. It can cause nausea, vomiting, ataxia. So dextromethorphan. Benzonatate. This benzonatate acts centrally and peripherally. It is chemically related to the procaine, which is a local anesthetic. Chemical structure is similar to the local anesthetic, which is procaine. It acts centrally and peripherally. Benzonatate. It acts centrally and peripherally. Particularly, it acts on the pulmonary stretch receptors which are present in the lung. Means it suppresses the pulmonary stretch receptors. Which are present in the lungs, pharynx, larynx. And many cough mixtures included benzonatate as one of the ingredient. Many cough mixtures incorporate benzonatate as one of the ingredients. Pharyngeal demulcents. Demulcent means soothing action in the sore throat, pleasing action. It soothes the irritating pharynx. So demulcents we are using for soothing action in sore throat or pharyngitis. It is used when cough arises due to irritation above the larynx, mostly from the pharynx region. Above the larynx means there is a cough arises from the pharynx region whenever there is a sore throat, pharyngitis. So it reduces the afferent impulse from inflamed pharyngeal mucosa. What does it do? It reduces the afferent impulse from inflamed pharyngeal mucosa. And there is a symptomatic relief in dry cough or pharyngitis. So it is used as a syrup, lozenges, linctuses. Now mucokinetics or expectorants. Expectorants or expectorare, it's a drive from the chest. It will clear your respiratory passage by increasing the volume of bronchial secretion. What does it do? Increases the volume of bronchial secretion and decreases the viscosity of sputum. It increases the volume of bronchial secretion and decreases the viscosity. Hence, cough becomes less tiring and more productive. So, it facilitates the removal of the thick viscid sputum. So, it's a directly acting expectorant. And drugs like guaifenesin, sodium and potassium citrate or acetate, reflexly acting drugs like ammonium salts and potassium iodide. So, these are the mucokinetics or expectorants. What they do? They increase volume of bronchial secretion, decrease viscosity of the sputum. Kinetics. Kinetics means increase volume of the bronchial secretions and it decrease viscosity of the sputum. So it makes that cough less tiring and more productive. So it facilitates the removal of that viscous sputum. It's a directly acting drugs like guaifenesin, sodium citrate, potassium citrate or acetate, ammonium salt and potassium iodides. Mucolytics. Mucolytics in the form of acetylcysteine, carbocysteine. So acetylcysteine, it reduces the viscosity of sputum by opening the disulfide bonds of mucous proteins. What they do? They reduce viscosity of sputum. How come? By opening the disulfide bonds of mucous proteins. So it is given along with the bronchodilator since it is known to cause bronchospasm. It makes the sputum thin and less viscid. So cough becomes less tiring and more productive. Nausea, vomiting, rashes, pruritus, bronchospasm, hemoptysis. So this acetylcysteine reduces the viscosity of sputum by opening disulfide bonds of mucous proteins. It is given along with bronchodilator since it is known to cause bronchospasm. It makes the sputum thin and less viscid. So cough becomes less tiring and more productive. Nausea, vomiting, rashes, pruritus, bronchospasm, hemoptysis, these are the adverse effects. And it is also used, acetylcysteine is also used for antidote of paracetamol poisoning. It's an antidote for paracetamol poisoning and acetylcysteine. Bromhexine, it's a synthetic derivative of Vasaka or Vasicine. Increasing lysosomal enzyme activity which causes depolymerization of the mucopolysaccharides or the mucous proteins. Increasing lysosomal enzymes activity which causes depolymerization of the mucopolysaccharide or mucoproteins. So it makes sputum thin and less viscid. It increases the volume and decreases the viscosity of sputum. Hence cough becomes less tiring and more productive. Adverse effects like GI upset, rhinorrhea, lacrimations. These are the adverse effects of the bromhexine, which is a synthetic derivative of Vasicine. How does it act? It acts on the lysosomal enzymes. It acts by increasing the lysosomal enzyme activity, which causes depolymerization of the mucous proteins. So it makes the sputum thin and less viscid, and cough becomes less tiring and more productive. Ambroxol, it's a metabolite of bromhexine. It breaks the viscid sputum. It stimulates the synthesis and release of surfactant by type 2 pneumocytes. It is used in respiratory diseases with excessive and viscid sputum. Dose is 15 to 30 milligram 3 times in a day. Ambroxol. Now Dornase alpha. Dornase alpha is a highly purified solution of recombinant human deoxyribonuclease 1. What is Dornase alpha? Dornase alpha is the highly purified solution of recombinant human deoxyribonuclease 1. Now what is this deoxyribonuclease 1? It's an enzyme which selectively cleaves DNA. And this Dornase alpha hydrolyzes the DNA present in the sputum or mucus. What does it do? It hydrolyzes the DNA which present in the sputum or mucus. So it improved clearance of secretions. So it is useful in patients of cystic fibrosis. And is given by inhalation. Dose is 2.5 milligram. Antihistaminic drugs, H1 antihistaminics or H1 blockers. It is added to the antitussives or expectorant formulation. antitussives or expectorant formulation. There is a relief in cough due to sedative and anticholinergic actions. There is a relief in cough due to sedative action. Antihistaminic can cause sedation. So because of its anticholinergic action or sedative action, there is a relief in cough. Lacks selectivity for the cough center. There is no expectorant action. Decreased secretion because of anticholinergic effect. So suitable for allergic cough but not for the asthma. But it is effective in asthma due to allergy, which is allergic in origin. It is suitable for allergic cough but not for bronchial asthma because of some other reasons. So drugs which we can use is the chlorpheniramine, that is the CPM, diphenhydramine or promethazine. These are the antihistaminic drugs or H1 blockers. Bronchodilators in the form of salbutamol and terbutaline. Bronchospasm induce or aggravate cough, we know that. Bronchospasm or bronchoconstriction can induce or aggravate cough. It increases the surface velocity of air flow during cough. What does it do? It increases the surface velocity of airflow. Clear secretions of airway. Clear secretions of airway. Not used routinely for every type of cough. It is used only when bronchoconstriction is present, as in bronchial asthma. Whenever there is a bronchospasm is there, you can use salbutamol, terbutaline, which are beta-2 agonist. Local anesthetics like lignocaine. It is used for intractable cough in the bronchial carcinoma. Lignocaine is used as a local anesthetic for intractable cough of bronchial carcinoma. It is administered by nebulizer to prevent the cough during endoscopy, and it is instilled topically in airways. So, local anesthetic that is used in suppression of cough is lignocaine. And what is the role of hydration in cough? Dehydration increases viscosity of secretion. So, adequate fluid decreases viscosity. So, you have to be very hydrate. Means take as much as water as possible, because adequate fluid decreases the viscosity of the sputum. Highly effective. And role of steam. It is useful for the liquefaction of the tenacious sputum. It makes the sputum less tiring and more productive. So it can facilitate the removal of all the viscid sputum. So basically what we have learned today, cough is a protective reflux. You have to treat the underlying cause, and if it is a symptomatic, then you have to go for the symptomatic treatment. Antitussives for the suppression of cough center, mucolytics for the lysis of that viscid sputum, mucokinetic facilitate the expulsion of that viscid sputum, and adjuvants that you can use like antihistaminics, bronchodilators. So this is all about drug therapy of cough.